All right, what's up, everybody? Back with another Juices Loose podcast. Ms. T, I don't know where he's at. He'll probably jump in. Mike won't be working, and
Wow.
we'll have to go through all that. But
There is no love.
yeah, I figure let's start close to on time. And there's not a whole lot of news or anything really coming out, but one little minor thing, and then I'll have Rob kind of talk about what you were just telling us about Target. Um, just a cool little thing, the toys. It's not cool that Toys R Us closed down, but I didn't even know what state it was in. One of the Toys R Us locations, they were cleaning the shelves and they found a sealed copy of Mario Kart 64 with some dust on it, like under the shelves. And like I don't know who got kept to keep it or if what happened to it, but I thought that was pretty cool. And I wonder if there was what else was freaking hiding under those shelves, because Toys R Us, I mean, the one in my area has been around it was newer, but it's been at least since before the N64 came out. So, I mean, we're talking 20 plus years that store's been there. But yeah, not a big deal. I don't know if everybody here saw it. T, did you see that?
No, I missed it.
All right, I'll see if I can find. I think it was either a tweet or.
But I'm not surprised. I used to work in retail. The shelves used to be nasty.
Mhm.
You used to find all kind of stuff under them shelves.
I used to be I used to be so OCD when I used to like have to clean the shelves and stuff when I used to work in games retail.
Oh yeah.
And I'd want to merchandise all the shelves properly, but I always done the Nintendo shelves the best. Yeah, that's not even that's not even a joke. I literally done all the Nintendo shelves the best.
You would start like your plan was just to do a section, and then all of a sudden you've done the whole damn row. It's so disgusting.
Yeah, link the Nintendo Life article.
Shit.
It was a Go Nintendo tweet, so it's like go down a damn rabbit hole to find out any more information. But man, that thing's.
Did it have a picture of it?
Yeah, yep, dusty as shit.
Oh yeah, it's pretty damn dusty.
That's cool.
Usually in cases like that, though, Sally, if you find it, like it's not really just finding keepers because it still belongs to Toys R Us.
Well, that's weird. This is saying the box was empty. That's weird. Why would it be an empty?
Maybe it was like a promo thing.
Or maybe it was like you know how sometimes when you buy a game, they give you the disc like behind the door.
Somebody lying.
Something's weird. Yeah.
Somebody's lying.
Somebody got robbed. They didn't tell nobody.
Anyway, I guess
expensive.
that's truly an empty box, and that's even less of a story than I thought. But
It's not often that you actually put live games on the shop shelf. It's not often. Most of the time you do have them behind the counter. So
yeah,
well, in those days you did.
They had the boxes hidden like in a room. They had the little. You'd pick up the slip that said the game and the price, and you take it up, and then they'd have to have somebody go in the security room and grab the game. That's what my Toys R Us did when the N64 came out, and all that whole generation.
Really? I guess it was a store thing.
Yeah, you had these stupid pieces of paper, and it just if there was a piece of paper, that meant they had the game in stock. If there wasn't, then it didn't.
Yeah, I remember those. That was Mario Kart 64. Was it 97?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the N64 because that's the last time I was buying games. I picked up Kirby on the Wii U at Toys R Us because they gave away the amiibo.
Yeah,
and they had the same thing. You had to take the tag to the person. They still did it to this day.
So this is like, this makes me feel old as shit. This is like when I remember being, late 90s, maybe early 2000s, thinking about the Atari and how old, that old thing. Mm-hmm. Now the N64 is that.
It is.
It's crazy.
Relic.
Yeah, I still struggle to like a lot of people will start calling like the GameCube and the PS2 retro, and I can't do it yet.
I can't call it retro yet.
I can't do that yet. Not for me.
Definitely retro.
I have the issue with movies when somebody says, "Oh, how old is this movie?" Man, it's a pretty new movie. It's from 2000. I'm like, "Oh fuck, that was 20 years ago."
Well, it's easier to call something retro when it's like a 2D game. It's hard to call 3D games retro. I mean, I guess N64, PS1, it's a little easier with those because that was like the first generation for it. But GameCube, ain't
That's what I
ready.
mean. You look at like Metro Prime and Wind Waker and stuff like that, and
It's
you think,
retro?
man, these don't
Yeah,
look
Retro
old.
Studios.
Oh my god. yeah.
It's funny because I draw the exact same line between GameCube and N64, and the GameCube in my head, it's really not retro, even though, yeah, just like with the movies, it's like 20 fucking years ago.
This is some bullshit.
I mean, people like Robert, this shit is ancient. Dude wasn't even born yet.
Yeah,
And you wonder why,
that's
like,
crazy.
people me and Juice's age is like, all right, Nintendo, you got to hurry up with these damn games, man. Before I'm in the damn senior citizen home or some shit.
I
Why was he so
It'll
anxious?
still be going on about it.
I'm just glad that Breath of the Wild came out before I turned 40. I mean, I was just because
Good
when
for
it was
you.
first announced, it was like, I mean, when was it supposed? 2015 was the first year.
Was it
Yeah.
2014? I thought it was 2014.
That's when they showed it, but it initially was 2015.
Yeah.
Initially, I was like, I would have been like 36, 37 when it came out.
Man,
But
yeah,
anyway.
hurry up.
Robert had a little story I hadn't heard. Some people taking advantage of Target.
Oh yeah, that shit was going on this morning.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it was pretty damn cool. So basically, what it was that in Target they fucked up royally, and you know, obviously people take advantage of it. I don't even know if people find these type of things, but they found it, and there's this one code that if over $50 to purchase, it'd be taking $20 off, right? And that's like, all right, cool. And there's another code that it'll stack onto it that'll do 15% off, and it's like, all right, cool, that's fine. But then you're able to stack 6 more of those 15% off, and they had 7 codes stacked at once, and people were getting goddamn Switches for like $150. They were getting TVs for $200 and they saved $700 something dollars.
Jesus.
Oh
And
my
it was
God.
insane. And like right now, there's a lot of people that are getting canceled, but there's a lot of people that if they did in-store pickup, they went today and they got it and they were able to get their Switch. Yeah, and so I saw someone juice that got Mario Tennis Aces for $16,
Jeez.
and
Yeah, that's a good price.
yeah, but it's just, you know, I was gonna get Mario Tennis Aces, and I kept typing in Mario Tennis Aces, but it was nowhere to be found. I was like,
Yeah, I
don't know.
couldn't find that shit either.
Yeah, I didn't see that, so I don't know if maybe they started catching on or something. But like I did not see no Mario Tennis Aces there, so I wanted to pick it up for $16. I was like, all right, cool, but it wasn't there. And yeah, there was like a huge thing, and a lot of people were buying stuff, and a lot of it went through. Right now, there are a good amount getting canceled. But so far my stuff hasn't been getting canceled yet, so hopefully it goes through my stuff.
What did you order?
No, I just ordered some Blu-rays and headphones because I have everything. Like it was like, and now it would have been awesome to buy a TV now. Then it would have been like, holy crap! I only bought a TV for $250. That's awesome. Because the one that this one guy bought was a 70-inch 4K, basically my TV for $250. I'm like, what? God, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's.
I still can't
people-
believe you have that fucking thing in your room.
It is ridiculous.
Oh, that Avatar TV is.
You have a kick-ass sound system with it. Your own little movie theater like Juice has.
No, actually, that would have been that would have been good too to just get that. I didn't think about, damn it, I didn't think about that.
Well, the next Juice opinions will be on what kind of sound system to get for your movie theater.
Yeah.
Nothing in that Target has.
Oh,
That's just
I knew it was
fact.
coming. I knew
That's
it was
just a
coming.
fact. There's absolutely nothing those Walmarts or Targets or Myers has that I would recommend.
Damn.
I mean, for
All right.
Robert's room, maybe, but
But for something of quality, fuck that.
I would just go to Best Buy at the very least, minimum
Yeah.
Best Buy. But anyway, let's get some Project Octopath impressions and maybe touch upon. I haven't played it. I guess I didn't know it was a $60 game, but I know some people are questioning the value proposition. If it's worth $60, you know, maybe it's just the art style. I don't know what.
It has to be the art style.
It's got to be art style because it's
That's
like
what I would think, yeah.
HD 2D sprites, and people think, "Oh, that's not worth it."
It's one of the best looking games I've seen in a long time. Like,
I was about to say, how dare you? That'd be my response.
Spent
I
like
just put that
$80 for
in
Chrono
the
Trigger.
chat.
Oh yeah, because you got the
Because-
collector's edition, didn't you, T?
Yeah, I got the collector's edition.
You
So,
bastard.
so who's here's played it?
I played it.
Yeah,
I played it.
I'll play it after this podcast.
He's lying. He won't fucking touch
He
it.
ain't touching that.
He ain't gonna touch that fucking game.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it too right after.
See, y'all.
Right after
you and Robert
20
will have the same many hours in by then.
I heard it was selling out. Like people couldn't find copies and shit.
So, who wants to go first? First impressions.
I just say this about the money still because you guys brought it up. I think it's such a stupid argument always. Like the same people that are crying this is too expensive are the same people that wanted to pay for free-to-play games on the mobile shit from Nintendo. Like I never argue with the price bullshit. I mean, if you see this game, it's not just that graphically it's actually really. If people really want to say like, oh, graphically it doesn't look like it's worth it. If you see the lighting effects they use in this, the rendering shit this requires, and like you see this game and it's without a doubt something you have never seen before in your life. It looks unique. Like the visual style alone is totally worth it. And then when you take into account the scope of the story, the amount of characters, the way the attacks are done, and the depth of the overall shit, like it's a $60 game.
Yeah, the people say that, and then they'll play Uncharted 4, which is
That's what I
about
was just about to say.
15 hours first playthrough, and unless you just really love Nathan Drake, like I know some people do, and want to watch all those cutscenes again, like you're never gonna play that game again. And if you do, it's gonna be maybe one other time, and you're probably gonna skip the cutscenes the next time and just play 5, 6, 7 hour game, whatever it is, without the cutscenes. And like no one complains because cinematic games, to me, those are the least worth $60 because of the actual limited gameplay. But
why do graphics matter? Why are graphics the barometer? Was the Order 1886 worth $60?
Fuck no.
Like, oh, but it was a beautiful game. I don't understand. Like, that's the stupidest argument.
Yeah, I mean, it's to me.
What is the value of the game for you?
Like there are definitely games where I'm like, yeah, that's like a $40 game after playing it.
But it has nothing to do with the graphics. It has to do with your play experience and your time you had with it.
Like I mean, Captain Toad, I think 40 was definitely the highest. I mean, it couldn't have been 50, no way. 40 to me felt more like a $30 game. I know a lot of people got some good, value for their money out of it at 40, but for me, it felt like a $30 game or a $20 game. So it is each person's.
Well, some people paid $80 because they bought it twice.
But
I almost bought it twice.
So for each person, it's going to be different. But I don't understand it. Maybe we shouldn't even give it much. Maybe we shouldn't give it any more time.
Just to end it up, it's like I said, for each person, it might be different. But the amount of work that is put in the game, that's where the money is. That's what people need to get paid. If you hear, like, the music of this game is fucking godlike. It is such good music. And the amount of work, just the music already took. Like, the amount of worth is it in the style. The amount of worth of the game is in the amount of work that went into it. That's how I feel.
Yeah, to me, it's no different than, like, going to the movies. It's like, oh, well, this movie's visual effects aren't as good as some other movies. Should the ticket price be lower? Like, that's the dumbest shit. That's dumb. Like, what do you get out of the movie? Now, you might go to a movie and watch it for 2 hours, feel like you got ripped off, Transformers, but, like, you're not gauging the price of it on how it looks. Like,
exactly.
It's just dumb. I happily went in and watched the Star Wars trilogy again when it came out in '97, and I didn't feel like I lost any money. So,
I'll transition into the positive
at the time.
I'll transition into the positive shit this way so that we can move on. When we're talking about the art stuff, for example, I also bought the collector's edition, even though we kind of got screwed. I don't know how much did you pay for yours, T? I'm curious.
I bought I paid 99 plus tax. It was like 106 or something.
Mine was €90, €90, which is about $100 as well. Except that my map isn't cloth, and we didn't get the soundtrack, and I still feel I got my money's worth. We got kind of ripped off, and I'm glad we paid that. The thing that's good about this shit is when you open up the special edition, you get 8 pages, one for each character of the pop-up book, which is so quality-wise, so well done. And this is exactly what the game looks like. It's absolutely insane. You have the game like in 3D in front of you in this little model shit. Like, it's so good. and you instantly get all this freedom in the game, and you can choose these characters. I started only with one character for now. I think I spent seriously half an hour trying to decide if I wanted to have the Japanese voices or the English voices, because the game at first I thought it was fully spoken, so I put it on English at first. But then a lot of these characters sounded like whiny teenagers, so then I put it in Japanese. But then all of a sudden it felt like not everything was spoken. It's kind of like what they do in Zelda, where somebody says it's like, "Hey," and I was like, "Okay, that is weird." So I thought maybe that's because I put it in English, so put it back in Japanese, and it's kind of weird how not everything is actually spoken dialogue. So in the end, I kept it on Japanese. So once I have all that set out, the language and everything, I pick my character and you start playing this game. It's like like I said, you play this, you start playing it, and you're absorbed in this immensely beautiful graphical style. Like it's absolutely insane how beautiful it looks.
Yeah, it's
All
not
right.
just like some translation.
Oh yeah, it fucking looks amazing, dude.
Yeah, it's not some translation from like the 16-bit era.
Yeah, people think it's like, oh, it's just they just made the sprites prettier. Like, no,
No,
that
this
shit
game has visual depth to it. Like, I've
yeah,
never
they
seen.
use Unreal Engine 4 to recreate the 16-bit style, while having still all the modern conveniences. Like, if you see like the water effects and shit.
Oh my god, the water is
shit looks so good, dude.
shimmers.
It blew my mind when I saw it on screen, man.
And the same thing, like with the light, that's the biggest thing. Like the lighting of when you're in the battles, and first of all, the battles go really. I was surprised with how fast it went. Like my battle was over, and I was like, "Wait, I didn't see the attack." Like it takes getting used to how fast the game goes, and when you see these lighting effects, it's beautiful. It's just a beautiful game. That's like seriously the first impression I have so far. Like every time I turn it on, still I'm like, "God damn, this game is fucking beautiful."
I guess the first thing we should probably go over real quick is which traveler did you pick first? Like, who was your first I guess your main character? Because I mean, from what I've read, you can't change out that character after you get the other 7 travelers. But I was curious where you guys started at.
Yeah, the way I thought is that you basically first went through each character in the order you picked, and I have a feeling then they're gonna do like what the after years did, Final Fantasy 40 after years, and then probably you get like a combined story, maybe something like that. But
Yeah,
I'm
after
a
a while you'll be able to.
yeah. Like no, I was gonna say like I'm a weak man. Obviously, the first time I saw Primrose, I was like, "My goddamn, she's sexy as fuck."
Everybody picked Primrose.
I know Terrell picked a woman. I
don't like the stereotyping you do.
Ophelia, or however you say her name, Ophelia.
How in the fuck?
What?
How did you get that on the note?
I'm looking at.
You must have watched the stream.
No, I'm looking at pictures of the characters right now.
We just made it get. It's only 4 women.
How did you make? I streamed like
a 25% chance. That's pretty good.
Wow, what are the odds?
God, just
How
looking
in
at
the fuck?
what she looks like, and I know what Terrell likes.
What? What the fuck?
Wow.
I think I'm more confused about Juice's knowledge of my taste.
It's either her. It was either her or Primrose. So it was a 50-50.
Boy said you predicted.
I'm fucking blown back by that. Well, who'd you pick, T? Shit.
Pick what's his name? Zero, the scholar.
Oh, okay. So, okay, Primrose, Sarah, and
Cirrus.
Okay, Cirrus. Actually, okay, so you're okay. Because that means we all start at different places on the map. That's kind of the cool thing about Octopath.
That's cool, right?
It's not like just a simple, you pick a character, you start in the same area. Like, no, you start in the region your character is in. And you go through like their full chapter 1 storyline, giving you kind of an introduction to who they are and their situation. So like already me, T, and Retro have like completely different opinions because we all got different characters. I'm
the pretty boy who's all the girls throwing themselves at.
Oh, is that what he's like? I haven't met him yet.
Yeah.
I haven't met him yet in the game. I passed this.
But he's like,
town.
Yeah. Like I didn't even realize it while I was unboxing the damn thing, the special edition, the pop-up book. It's the starting point for every character. I didn't even realize that's
really
that was the thing when I was.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I didn't realize until
I like that about I like how each character also have like a specific ability, and how like 80% probably of the demographic they start with like Primrose, like I did, because all the guys are like, "That's a hot chick," But in the game, that's like her ability. You get people to come with you, and I like that about it. Like I can literally ask anyone, let's say 80% of the people on the planet, even if a guy is just like this is old guy standing in the corner, I was like, you know what, man, I'm not going into this dungeon, bro. And I ask the old guy to come with me and shit. I have this fucking grandpa in my team fighting with me. It's so good. Like almost, she can make almost anybody a playable character, and absolutely love that about her.
The funny thing is, Ophelia has a very similar ability, except for hers, it's called Guide. I don't know what the major difference is between her and Primrose because I haven't gotten Primrose in my playthrough yet. But Ophelia's works more like it's almost the same thing, except I have to summon that person. That person just isn't automatic. Yeah. I mean, they're still following me, but I still have to summon them, and they kind of auto attack on their own. So I don't know how much different that is from Ophelia's.
That is interesting, yeah, because I saw that they both had the summoner class. Yes, I was wondering if there was a difference, but yeah, it works the same way. Like I take a person with me, and I'm even limited in how often you can summon them. But I have, for example, she fight with music. She can sing, and there's a song, for example, that makes the person I took with me stronger, so you can affect how they fight.
Okay, so yours is okay. So Primrose is more like a support class then.
Yeah.
Okay. See, Ophelia is a healer, and she's also like light magic and shit.
That's interesting because Primrose uses dark magic.
Well, from what I've heard about her story, it makes sense. From what I remember, I think
it's between her, Ophelia, or it's between her, Alphen, and Sirius.
And someone just pointed out that each character's first letter of their name all represent the word Octopath. So
that is great. That is
man, mind blown.
Wow!
Octopath. Wow!
Didn't even think about that. Holy shit! Wow!
Yeah, because Octo is 8, and Path deals with different 8 paths to take with the 8 characters.
Oh my god, that blew me the fuck back. I didn't even think about
that's worth $60 right there.
It's that cool subtle shit that you ain't gotta do, but when you do it, it's just cool as fuck. It's one of those things. I guess. Go ahead.
Has Clocked spoken on the game yet? Did you give your take?
No, I mean, I just been enjoying listening to you all get really excited about the game. So.
We're kind of geeking out, man.
So I thought instead of you wading in, I just let you all chat away because it's clearly grabbed us all. I started off with Albrecht, and that was mostly because I played him in the demo, and I'm when I play RPGs, I always seem to go the warrior first. I'm not as a female hungry.
Oh, you think you're better than us? You think you're better than us? You're married. That's why.
But I went Albrecht, and I really like this storyline from the demo, so I decided just to start off with him and take it from there. But do you know what? I really want this game to do really well because I read an interview with these guys as well, and you could just see the excitement and the passion in their words, and which would have been their voices and stuff, and you can almost sense them just going, I don't want to work on another type of Final Fantasy 14 game ever again. I want to go back. I want to go back to this, back to the glory days, and we're getting such a good taste of it. I don't even want to call it taste of it because just going back to that $60 thing. For anyone to say this game, a game of this quality and this size and this artistry is not worth a full price retail ticket. I don't even want to be in the same room with those people.
No RPG fan would say that. I don't think.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
I like it. What you said about. Sorry, I just wanted to build off what you said about the passion of these people, because I don't know if people remember it, but when they started the first demo, like they took all the feedback from everybody who played it, and they actually changed the game, like the menus and the style and the way the characters move, and that already shows how passionate they were about
this game.
When does that happen?
Like never.
Yeah, it's that team, and you can it's nice to hear that from Square as well as of all people to take so much feedback from a demo. But this new team is just
Did they
just
add a
hungry,
run?
man.
Yeah, they had the
Yeah.
They
run
did
button.
add the run, right? Because I'm like, man.
Although there is a
So much
trade-off
better.
with it.
Well,
There's
yeah.
there's a trade-off with it. Like if you run in towns, you're fine. But if you run
Yeah,
on
you
the
run it.
pathways, you raise your chance to get into wild
Yeah,
battles.
you get into more fights, but the sprint button was a great addition. You know, it's one thing I noticed as soon as I
Yeah.
started playing again.
I was noticing because you said
Absolutely.
Obrick you picked. I didn't pick him because I played him in the demo. So
Yeah,
I remember like
another
being kind
part.
of slow.
I wanted to get him out of the way as well because I got a taste of him as well. So I thought if I just get the card I've probably played out of the way, then it'll be a whole new game for me then. So, but yeah, you were talking about the water and stuff. You know, man, when I first went out to the world map, well, you say the world map, you kind of, you know, you're just out there, but I got to the ocean, like a seaside and stuff, and God, you know, it's just the glittering of the light and the you know the way they done the
Shimmering, man.
water. Yeah, it's beautiful, man. I was absolutely loving it. So you know, it's a stunning game, absolutely stunning game, and I can't wait to I can't wait to see what they do next. I just hope this game does well. I think it will. And for them
Someone's saying
to
it's
step
like
up.
#1 on Amazon everywhere, but UK it's #2.
Yeah, it's been selling crazy.
There's been talk about did they not put out enough copies and that's why it sold out. I think that's partially true, but I think the game still did well because you don't go to the top of Amazon having short stock. You don't go to the top of the eShop. Oh, the eShop obviously it's digital, but I'm saying as far as it doing well, game is obviously doing well.
I think 2 million sales, and I think we will see a full-on more classic type of a Final Fantasy type of RPG in a similar engine, you know, with a single focus story and stuff, and from this team, and I think almost like maybe like Bravely Default or something like that, like, you know, which were great games on a 3DS anyway, and you know, so I'm really excited.
I mean, this is a 16-bit era RPG, and it's getting this much like wasn't there like a thing where people had searched it for the PlayStation 4 or something, or like the top search? It was like Octopath PS4, like the top search in Japan, I think it was.
Yeah, because in Japan, this thing has been selling gangbusters.
Yeah.
It's
So I mean, that just tells you how popular, how well it's
When
done.
did it actually come out? Friday?
Friday.
So
It's only been out for like 3 days, 2-3 days.
we could still get by the end of this week, could find out how it did in the first couple of days in Japan.
Yeah,
Which
the immediate creep.
I'd be surprised if, from what it sounds, if it was under 100,000 in Japan.
Because I think they already put out the UK numbers, and literally the only thing that beat it, I think, was Crash. because
What is Xenoblade 2 do in the first month? That was like a mini, wasn't it?
It was a
Say
kind
what?
of a, no, it wasn't.
What did Xenoblade 2 sell in the
I thought it
first?
reached a
first
million.
month?
It reached
Yeah.
1 million the first month. So
Yeah, first month.
it probably did relatively well in that first weekend or so.
It wasn't a
Because
whole
it
lot.
came out at the beginning of December.
Yeah. But it wasn't a whole bunch of probably data or talk about it. I don't remember there being.
Yeah, because I mean, in December there wasn't a lot of games specifically out anyway, so it wasn't a lot to compete with it to begin with. But still, I think it ended up becoming like the best-selling Xenoblade game within like the month it was released,
It's crazy.
which is more baffling than
Well,
Xenoblade.
not really, because if you think about it, Xenoblade, the first one, Xenoblade Chronicles, was on Wii. It had that staggered, weird release. They didn't want to release it in the West. They had the whole Operation Rainfall thing. So, and it was like at the end of the Wii's life cycle. It was like 2011.
Yeah, it came out like in America, like what was that, 2011, 2010?
2011, I think it was, when it came out here.
Damn, according to VG charts, just getting back to Xenoblade Chronicles 2 real quick, it did 437,000 its first week.
Really?
100 in Japan.
It's almost a 500,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
160 in North America and 134 in Europe.
Crazy.
So,
That is kind of nuts.
never knew that. But then it dropped. I mean, second week it was decent, third week was decent, but then it North America hung on till about 5 weeks, then it just really fell off. But still, that's surprising. We never actually I never looked at those numbers before. I don't know how accurate they are, but
No, well, I guess it'll be more in time because I'm curious how well it's still selling, especially since they're releasing DLC for it.
When they're begging people to buy it on the eShop,
That's what they're doing with ARMS. Like I think it was like last week they posted, "Oh, Arms is like 20% off on the eShop right now, guys. If you want to go get it." And I was like, man, it depresses me.
The game sold over 1 million, so I'm happy for that.
Yeah, I think it did well enough to justify itself.
Yeah,
but I feel like it deserved more. God damn it!
When they do that sequel, they just need to flesh out some things.
Yeah, they need to come out there swinging because I feel like that's what's gonna make or break that game is that sequel. Yeah. But I guess getting back to Octopath real quick.
Yeah, back to Octopath.
Since we all kind of had different experiences because we were in different areas of the map, I haven't gotten all 8 travelers yet. I've only gotten, I think I have 3 in total. I got Haunted, and I have Tressa, which is the merchant class. I don't know how far you guys got. How many travelers do you guys have? Or
I only got my game this morning because Amazon was late, so I'm still on my first.
I'm still on my first travel too, but that's kind of by choice.
Yeah, because that's the cool thing. You're not forced to get any of them. Like literally, the way it is you can walk into the town they're located, and you can see them, but you have to actively go over there and talk to them to start like the process of getting them as a partner. You can go through the whole game with just one character. I've noticed that the trade-off though seems to be is a lot more grindier. Like I did the chapter 1 for Ophelia, and then I went to go see what level do I need to be for chapter 2, because the game actually will tell you. It'll tell you what the recommended level.
Sorry.
Nice. I was gonna say, but yeah, the game will tell you the recommended level for the next chapter, what level you should be at. And you start off at level 1, and then chapter 2 is like, you should be at level 27. And I'm like, what? I'm like, that's a hell of a jump. But I think the reason why is because they expect you to go get all the characters. Because I'm already at like level 12 or 13, and I only got like 3 of the other. I have 5 more to get. So I would assume that's the idea. The problem is I think most chapter 1s for every character takes like an hour just to get them. I mean, you're doing their story and backstory. It's not like you're just watching cutscenes, but it still takes about an hour to get through all their stuff to be like, all right, now they're on their journey with you. Now you can move on. So that's part of the thing. So I don't know if I'm going to go for, I think I might only go for like 4 of them, and then I'll just grind for the rest of it.
I've been reading reviews. I'm told that's the best advice, is to not like overwhelm yourself with travelers.
Yeah, because the chapter 1s for every character, although are all
very similar. Yeah.
They're all different, but the problem is you're still watching a bunch of setup,
right?
And although the game doesn't really have tutorials, it's just more of some people might just get burnt out on the constant waiting on fucking cutscenes to happen and then doing required actions and shit. So it's suggested you mix it up. So I think, and then they also have side quests in the game too. And I do like how the game actively says, "Oh yeah, you can do this any way you want to."
Yeah, but the other side is that for some people, it may be best to go ahead and get through that stuff early on. So.
Yeah, I mean that's the trade-off. You can either have all 8 characters and have this full party variety, or you could do like 1 to 4. And although you have a nerfed team in terms of how much you can do, you can also get really acquainted with their abilities and whatnot. So
for me, it's if you're really looking at that's it's annoying and you have to skip it or there's too much text or something, then the game isn't for you, because that's what I like about it, is the fact that it is extremely story heavy. Like it's about the characters, it is about the background. That is why the game is made, to invest in each and single character the same amount of story and time, actually, and that's what I like about it. That's why I wanted it.
Right. I mean, it's an RPG. That's what it's
about.
It's
an RPG. So, I mean, that's kind of the thing.
I guess the thing is that the characters have like a similar starting setup. So it feels the same.
The general structure is the same.
Yeah, the structure. That's what I meant.
You're introduced to the character. You do a few battles. Then you go through a mini dungeon. You fight a boss, and then afterwards they join your crew. It's just each of the story behind it is different, but the general structure is the same. It's all every chapter 1 for a character ends with a boss fight. At least
Heart and
especially
Soul-
from what I'm playing.
Heart and
so
Soul in
far.
the chat said you can skip the cutscenes if you hold down the B button.
Yeah, you can skip them, but I'm not
I don't
gonna
know
do
why
that.
you would do that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
If you lost.
What's the max amount of characters you can have in a battle? Is it 3 or 4?
4.
Well, he's
Uh,
doing it because he said he did the demo, so that makes sense.
Now let me
Yeah.
ask you something. Like, if one of your characters, like let's say you had 5 characters, right, and then one of your 4 characters dies, can you bring in the 5th one in the battle during the
I
battle?
don't know, Robert. Play the game and find out.
oh, well, no, I mean, it's
I'm
an
going
RPG.
to after this podcast.
To be fair, it's an RPG. So I mean, if they die in a battle, actually, I haven't had that happen yet. So I don't know. I know you have items that you can revive your characters, but you can swap out 3 of your 4 party members. The
So
first
wait-
character you pick cannot be swapped out, but the other 3 can.
Okay.
I still
So
want
what
to go
you
start the
said,
game right now. For that.
So your team is like a max of 4 characters.
Yeah.
So I wonder what that does if you take both Ophelia, her name is.
Yeah.
No, the other one that you have.
Oh, Hanet and
Yeah.
Tressa.
Yeah, the other chick that can summon. So if both Ophelia and the other chick summon somebody, if you have like 6 people in your party.
Well, I actually don't know.
Hmm.
I guess because the potential is, I'd be curious. I mean, I haven't really got
But
to
you
mess
do
around
that.
with the battle differences yet, and I'm near Primrose. I'm almost tempted to go get her. Like I want my first team to be all girls and the second team, and when I go around again, it'd be all guys. So I don't know. I might do that. I'm curious because I actually skipped. I think it's the one T has. T's character. I skipped him. I said, yeah. Like I got to his town. I got to his fucking town. And I said, you know what? Nah. And I went to the next town and I got Tressa. Like I don't know. I'm trying to play non-traditionally just to see how much different the experience is. But it's fun so far. I'm having a blast with it. It's just the thing that bugs me the most is how the characters barely interact. Like when I got Haunted, it literally was like I was playing Haunted's chapter 1, and then in the middle of the chapter it was like, "Oh, you're gonna help me? Okay, cool." And then we literally just went on the rest of Haunted's chapter 1, and then it was like her tale's about to begin, and I'm like, "Oh, it's kind of bum." To me, that's the only thing that bums me out personally. Is that the stories aren't like the characters don't interact much.
Well, maybe that's gonna change once you have everybody, and the game progresses further.
Yeah, because from what I heard, I think people said there's a big difference when you doing like a character's chapter 1 and then you jump into their chapter 2. Like there is a lot of things that change. People said that about the battle system too, which I can't even imagine so far. Although I will praise this game for one thing. Unlike another RPG that I recently was playing and finished with, I'm not going to say any names because apparently
I know what you're talking about.
people don't like my opinion. The one thing I really like about Octopath Traveler is that every enemy has a weakness. Like it's like the Pokemon thing. Every enemy has a weakness. They show you the weaknesses under the character when you're in fights. So you always
After you've discovered them, I think.
yeah, you discover them once, but anytime you fight the enemy again,
Yeah.
you automatically know what the weakness is. I
Yeah, that's
appreciate
nice.
this shit so much because some of these enemies are, at least so far, like I got past Tressa because the game. That's the other thing. The game scales with you. That's why you can also do anything in any order because the enemies and levels scale with you. Like I think if you did like the chapter 1 for your main character, it tells you your recommended levels if you want to go get another character, like level 1 or 2. But if you get to like level 10, then the recommended level changes for a lot of stuff to like level 9. For at least the chapter 1s of characters, I mean. So that's the other cool thing is that the game scales with you.
All I can say is anyone like talking about the price, the value, whatever, like you guys spent like 20 minutes talking about just like the very beginning of this game, and the conversation could just keep going. And it's like, how can you? Okay, that kind of proves right there that there's a
Right,
lot of
that's
meat
what I
to this
said.
game.
Somebody on the outside looking in, not caring about RPGs, don't understand. I guess I could see where they would just look at the game and be like, "Oh, I'm not paying $60 for that." But they don't understand the value of a game like this. So.
like you said, it's just the graphics. I remember I'd done a video. It's one of the first videos I'd done about the value in games and stuff. And I think it was over the whole when Super Bomberman R came out on the Switch. And that was full price, right?
Yeah.
And I said with some games it's going to be down to the player. Super Bomberman R, there's going to be many people who are still playing that now since the launch of the Switch.
Some people were. Hey man, listen, I thought they were gonna be excited when it came out on PlayStation 4. Nobody said a goddamn thing about that game.
I haven't heard one word. I forgot about it.
I forgot about it until I walked in the Best Buy. That's literally when I found out.
It's obvious with Octopath. They saw the graphics and it's 2D, isn't it? It's just like when people see 2D these days, they just automatically devalue it. It's like Hollow Knight. I would have paid full retail price for that game because I think it's absolutely phenomenal.
Hey, you guys are talking about 17, 18, 19 hours in on an indie game. Like, to me,
I'm like 25 hours or so.
I'm just saying, like, on the low end, I'm like, that's
dedication. That's dedication.
And the game keeps delivering. I mean, there's still game. There's still areas to find. Like, you think there's going to be like 5 main areas, some connecting areas, and it just keeps... Huge areas just keep popping up. That's like, holy crap! Like,
some ways, I feel like I've underpaid for it.
Yeah, $15 is like, I feel like I ripped them off. Like that easily was at the very least what Ukulele charged is $40. And I always thought Ukulele was overpriced. I think Hollow Knight.
Did you play it?
I did not.
Wait, was it $40?
Shut up.
Mainly because the game was funded. They got their money.
Well,
and then they go ahead and keep charging.
They had to turn the lights on in the office, so most of that.
Of course.
That never sat right with me though. To me, that's $20 game.
See, you just like them. So
Snake Pass is a $20 game. It's different, but
chill out,
still 3D platform type.
So what you're saying is subjective.
Yeah, that's basically.
It's another juice opinion.
Hollow Knight, easily $40 game. Easily.
Oh, the game you played.
What was saying is that.
Did you beat Ukulele?
Did I beat it yet?
Yeah.
No, I'm only. I think I'm close to 15 hours, but I want to 100% it. So.
I don't even know.
It was already works. It was already working.
Anyone who thinks Ukulele is better than Mario Odyssey is just an absolute idiot.
Why are we doing it? I feel like you turned this into a popular opinion thing now.
Did Retro ever finish Ukulele? He was speaking pretty highly of it in the beginning.
I thought you already beat it.
Yeah, I thought you beat it already, Retro.
Retro?
Right?
That's it.
Oh, it's gone.
He's quiet.
Retro, did you beat it?
You can't defend.
Can't hear you if you're talking.
Can't hear you if you're talking, man.
Mike issues.
Look how convenient that.
Oh,
perfect. Remember how high he was talking about how it has better platforming than Mario Odyssey?
He's
Can't
insane.
defend it.
Why y'all gonna
But,
squeeze man on
crazy
blood? He
doesn't
can't
keep
even
it.
defend himself right now.
I really like the game, but he's insane.
You go, why don't let he can't even defend himself? How dare you?
Oh, there he
These
is.
crazy
Can you guys
Dutch
hear me
people.
now?
I've said it before. Never
Yeah,
trust
we
the
can
Dutch.
hear you.
Okay. Yeah, my cat was playing with the wire earlier.
Did you ever finish Ukulele?
With Ukulele, like I'm in the final level. I think I'm still playing it. I'm like 30, 40 hours in, I think. I'm not sure. I'm still having fun with it.
So
And
that's
the thing I
15.
said, because I just wanted to say what the collector said with Mario Odyssey. Like, I would consider it a better game. I said and I stand by this. It's the better platformer. That's for sure.
Damn.
I like you, Richard.
I like the way T said that shit. He's like, I like
So
that.
how many hours in Ukulele do you think you have?
I don't need to think. I can check.
I'm
it
looking
and
right now.
switch
I just
on.
want you to say that number.
Oh, no.
Oh, look at him. He's trying to set you up.
Between
I think
25
I'm
and
at
30.
30. Let me check.
It's under 30. It's 25 plus. So it's
Wow, how
it's just
dare you?
25.
What about
Definitely
me while
not-
you were on there? Check me
definitely
out.
not 30 to
I think-
40, but
I think in game it says 27 or 30 something like that. It's counting always weird. That's what I hate about the Switch. It doesn't actually count the
yeah,
minutes you have
10.
played.
T has got 10 plus. So
Well,
yeah.
I'm definitely closer to 15. That's
You
what
probably,
I can't stand that. About,
You should
stupid,
laugh.
though. Why
though.
can't you just why don't you just tell us how many hours? Like,
it's so stupid.
I mean, 20, 27 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours in the game is, it's a good amount of time. It's a,
I'm only like 33%.
I hear trying to expose these
So
shit. The hell?
How many hours do you think Terrell has in Battle Chasers?
Not a lot. It's not a lot.
2, 3.
A little,
1
a
hour.
little, a little. Oh, 1
It's
hour.
probably like an hour because I think I started playing it.
Probably as many as I got. So
And
I
then he
can't
started
say
playing Xenoblade again.
Yeah, I think that's literally what happened.
that is the struggle right now because it's like I wanted to finish Xenoblade 2, but I knew Octopath was coming.
All
I
right.
wanted to
Trust me,
finish
now-
it, and now I'm stuck.
You want to know something funny? Shadow Fox, I think, still has more hours in Xenoblade than I do. That man plays that shit. That man's addiction is on a whole nother level.
Nobody has more hours into that bet than Don Zalug. That
I mean, he
guy,
has.
What about
that guy's in the 400 range, I think.
I'm at
Nintendo
400.
Ultra?
Oh,
Yeah,
bro.
Terrell's
Never
at
mind.
415.
I'm at 415.
All right.
I literally,
I
this is the
have,
first weekend I haven't played it.
I have a chick, a good friend of mine, on my playlist. She has 600 hours in ARMS.
600.
Damn.
How do you? How?
590 hours, it says.
How in the
Holy
fuck?
shit.
But
leaving
she's
the
obsessed with it.
console
That's fine.
I showed
totally
you guys
get
some.
that.
She did like
It's a fighting
the fan
game with
art
short
even. Like,
bursts.
she's obsessed with it, and it's just like she's obsessed with it. Also with the characters and everything. Like I've showed you guys some fan art here and there via Twitter. Like it's the same person who draws that fan art.
the
who's in the
person.
game.
Okay.
So you would see that and you're like,
so,
oh,
yeah.
they have no hours in anything
That is
else.
that,
And you're like,
fuck me, Jesus Christ.
Wait till Smash comes out. I'm gonna have that.
No, you ain't.
Yes, I will. I had
you
on
ain't.
Wii U. I had 550 or some shit.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
did
back when you played games, though.
Now he's playing. The girls are playing the games.
He took you out. He took you out to
Like
the
girls
past.
now.
He did you like Lassie, y'all.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro.
He put you out here like old yellow. He just did you dirty.
All right. So without without cheating, and people in the chat can answer. How many hours in Fortnite do you think I have?
Oh shit.
And remember, it's 5-hour increments, so you just got to
Too
do.
many.
I'm gonna say
30.
I'm gonna say 60.
I'm gonna say 55.
I want to say 35.
I'm going to say 30.
I'm gonna
30
say
30 hours by now.
25.
What'd you say, T?
25.
All right, let's see if. Let's wait till somebody in the chat guesses. Well, Stitch guessed. Y'all wrong. 20.
Oh, I
really?
thought it was actually way
Because I
more.
played on PC too.
Oh,
okay.
I should have went
All
with
right.
my first instinct to say 20.
That's
Here's the
bull.
big one though. Rocket League. How many
Oh,
hours?
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
that I'm pretty sure is that's a lot.
I'm gonna say
I think-
100. I'm gonna say 100.
100. I'm going to say
I think it's 100.
220.
I think you were at like 60 a while ago, so I would say you're at 100 now.
I'm
I
saying
think
No,
220.
I'm saying 185.
Okay, that's
I
a
think
little
it's
right.
170. I think.
Yeah, I'm going to go 140.
You guys
It's
are way
higher
off.
than T's guess.
It's higher than mine, so
What was your guess?
mine was 220.
What?
Man, last time I looked at Juice's Rocket
God.
League,
Jesus.
What are you doing?
got
he was
no
at 180 the last time I
no
remember.
life.
That was a while ago. So
Yeah, I passed Xenoblade 155 hours like 4 months ago.
I should have fucking known.
are you on his Twitter? Do you see what he mostly puts up there? I mean,
What do you mean
And
only?
it's still,
You mean
and it's still
only?
trash
sir.
on the game.
pretty much only.
I know.
It's still
270. And
Oh
then
He plays so much, he's finding like glitches that nobody else is finding.
This man's talking about competitive Rocket League. I was fucking baffled when I saw that shit. I was like, what?
and let
What
me
are you at? I missed it. What are you?
270.
270.
But let me look at my Steam hours. Well,
How dare you?
I'm
on Steam
telling
I
you.
paid it for
And this man
21.
used to bust me out for Xenoblade. This man's on a completely.
So you're
different
over.
level.
Well, you're close to 300 total.
Yeah,
That
but,
is insane.
but really it's the what do you call it, the watermark or what, the bar is with Rocket League is 1,000 hours. Like once you, like the really good players all have between 1,000 to 2,000 hours. So that's my goal.
I don't know if I know I'll never get that.
Yeah,
My goal is to
1,000,
hit 1,000.
never,
It'll be the
won't
first
know.
game I ever hit 1,000 hours in.
I'll be lucky to get 300.
1,000. I want to hit that in Smash Ultimate one of these days.
Oh,
I
my
like
God.
the
That,
game. But
it
goddamn,
all
I
depends
got
on
too
if I'm
much
willing to spend money. That's all. That's what that'll just spend on.
I don't even think Smash is going to cut into it too much either, honestly.
Well, with you, Jesus
Depends
I'll
on-
Christ.
say that now.
Depends on Nintendo's online and if Smash is if that's required for Smash and how that online ends up. We'll see.
I expect Xenoblade to be over 500 by the end of the year.
I'm gonna
That
pass.
fucking DLC comes out in September. I'm gonna be fucking
DLC,
gone.
that's right, man.
I'm gonna be fucking gone, dude.
I'm passing your ass though, and my Rocket League hours are gonna pass your Xenoblade by the end of the year. That's
Do you
my
guys
goal.
think you were underestimating my addiction, sir?
I can't buy new games until October.
Yeah, I think. Listen, I'm not saying you won't come close. I'm just saying you're not gonna, especially with that DLC coming out in September. Boy, please.
Dude, I play it almost 3 hours every day.
Where do you get the time?
I stay up till midnight.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
He's a single man with no kids. I mean, what do you mean? Where you get the time? I wish I had the
All
time.
right, so let's. Terrell's gonna love this, but there's a little bit of video game news or video game movie news. It's not really news, but it's a cool little thing. I linked it a while back. I'm gonna re-link this.
What was it?
So the guy who directed Kong Skull Island, a movie I didn't care for.
Trash.
This dude's like 30 years old, super long beard. He's talking with on IGN with what's the dude's name?
Oh, is this the Metroid thing?
Yeah, but this guy's they're discussing video game movies and why they're bad and whether I like Kong Skull Island or not. This dude's had some amazing thoughts on movies that aren't based on video games, but play more like video games than most video game movies. And he points out Snowpiercer, for anybody who's seen that movie where they're on that train revolving the world after like another ice age hit, and they're on this huge train that's just forever going around the world. Each car of the train is like this completely different environment, and like he put like his take was like that's basically a movie subconsciously is a video game because each car they go through is like this completely different level basically. And it was just it's really cool. I can't wait to hear the rest of the interview. But he asked him about Metroid, and this is what he said. He said, talking about Nintendo, they'll never let me do it. It's too crazy. I legitimately it would be Samus alone. It would be a little bit of her talking to herself. And he says as soon as they introduce other talking characters in those games, it loses everything. You put her alone, and it's almost got a little bit more to do with the silence of a movie, kind of like the movie Drive. Like the quietness and having it be like a real intense mood piece, but mixed with sci-fi. Like that would be awesome. It would probably make no money, but it's like
it'd be boring as fuck.
One film that comes straight.
Anybody want to see that shit?
I mean, it'd be action, but it just won't be a lot of talking.
One film that comes straight into my mind that in the first like about half an hour of the film, there was pretty much silence and hardly any dialogue, and that was the last Riddick film with Vin Diesel. Anyone seen that?
That one was so good.
Yeah, and the first half of that film is just him surviving. Yeah, out in the wild and stuff. He's barely talking because he got no one to talk to. A bit of dialogue in the background, just to himself. But that first half of that film is freaking awesome. He's on an alien planet. There's monsters around. He's doing his thing, and I found that part vastly more engaging than the second half of the film when he finally meets up with the mercenaries and stuff like that. So to do a Samus Aran film like that, if they did it right, it could easily work.
But how would you do that? Like the coolest stuff about Samus is her backstory, the Chozo. Like, how do you make a movie like that?
Listen, man, I'm not a director, you know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Especially this
They
guy.
could do a Flash.
This guy you're talking about somehow squandered John Goodman and Samuel L. Jackson. I mean, they were so one note in Kong Skull Island. I was depressed how one note those two guys were. And those are some of the best actors out there.
Yeah, John Goodman usually steals.
He was so lame. He was so forgettable.
And I mean, the dialogue wasn't well written either. I don't know who wrote that movie.
That's obviously part of it. But what I'm saying is, I mean, what we saw remember that little, what's her name? Chobot. Jessica Chobot thing. Like, that's kind of what you're going to be looking for, like what he's talking about. And I don't know if I can do 2 hours of that.
The way I see how you would do it is just like the game was inspired by Alien. You take that principle of Alien 1. Let's say you have Sama somewhere, and then she's hunting like she's a bounty hunter. So let's say she's hunting somebody. Let's say for the movie we make it Ridley. She's hunting Ridley. I don't know, and then you have the setup already, and then to break up the silences, she's logging like what she finds and everything into her ship, and then there you go, and then you can have basically the movie clocked it set with a good setup.
You're almost there. The way I would do it is what you're saying. Set it up just like Alien in the beginning. They crash land on what's the
Zebus?
Is that the planet where the Chozo are?
No, that was something Talon 4.
So you get little bits and pieces of her backstory, like and her having little flashbacks of while she's doing her task or whatever. And they're they add in that dialogue, and then they crash land, and then she gets, I don't know if she gets separated or they just all die and she's the only one. And then basically the Chozo kind of called to her because this is part of the past that she's forgotten about, because she was raised by Chozo, right? So maybe she just somehow forgot about that, and then she gets reacquainted with that on this planet, and she finds the Varia suit, and the ship is buried, that kind of stuff. That's the way I would set it.
That would be cool. One thing I don't want, even though it would help break the silence, is they could have like her ship have an AI that she could communicate with, like through her suit.
Yeah,
but that would feel a little like Iron Man-ish if they did it too much. But
or the way they cheated with the Spider-Man.
Yeah, I fucking hated that in Spider-Man.
It's kind of a cheat, but it didn't bother me too much. But
so yeah, I mean, I don't think he's a good director, but hearing just kind of him breaking down some of the stuff, I only watched the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't want him to do it. That's a good idea to some degree, but
I like. He also said tomorrow. What's it called? Edge of Tomorrow is almost like respawning, like in a video game. When you die, you respawn. So it's like it kind of has that kind of feel to it. But when they make video game movies based on the property, then it's like it just loses it, because gamers are used to being more part of the experience. Instead, he pointed out the Phantom Menace, where they're in that ship underwater. They're going, to get on the other side of the planet, and all this like amazing stuff's happening, and the Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are just like nonchalant, like,
oh yeah.
I think the biggest problem is that when they make these movies, they think about the gamer too much, and some of them are just completely. Mario Brothers is like not insane. They didn't think about the game at all, almost at all in that instance. But I think they forget that the gamer is going to come because they're intrigued anyway. Like, they're going to come to the theater if they really care about the game. They're going to pay the ticket anyway. But they're not enough. You got to get the general audience into it. And that's why you make it a really cool, like especially for Metroid, make it a really cool sci-fi movie that will resonate with sci-fi fans.
Yeah, you can't just do a bunch of fan service.
No, because that's just not going to work.
The thing is, as well, you can get the space pirates in there, because
you can get space pirates and all that stuff.
Could talk in their alien tongue, and she could be sneaking about and stuff like that. Just like with Metroid Prime, when she goes into the labs and stuff, and you can watch them talking by the computers and stuff like that.
Have you guys seen any of the Halo stuff, like those Halo movies, the series or whatever?
The shorts and stuff. Yeah,
I would go somewhat that route, where it's not too much. Like Halo, obviously, there's huge squads and all the whole. Federation or whatever. You don't have to put that. They can be in the background. Like, think of what's the movie? Oh my gosh, this is so popular movie. I don't know why I can't remember. The Matrix. Remember the Nebuchadnezzar and all that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
They were calling back to the main hub, but you didn't know shit about any of that until the second movie. Like you got them talking to those people, but they were pretty much separated from the main group of
Yeah, you heard about Zion, and
you heard
built
about
it up
Zion
in your mind, and then you see it, and you're like, I wish I could unsee it.
I wish I ruined that shit.
But anyway, let's not go too far into the movies. We talked about that last week, but I thought it was interesting, and of course they'll never make that movie, and I'd be shocked if we ever see a Metroid movie. But all right,
make it a Halo movie when we're that close.
Yeah, I mean, and apparently they're definitely not. I thought the Uncharted movie was a little more further along, but I guess they talk in the beginning about how it's there's just so many issues that keeps getting rewritten and stuff.
Issue number one is that Sony is the studio.
Yeah, that's
they are terrible right now at movie making. But
so let's talk about video games. We're talking about playtime. So I would assume Terrell's pretty good at Xenoblade Chronicles 2 by now with all that playtime.
Yeah, challenge mode is hard though, man. Fuck.
So I was, I'm on my mission to get like good at Rocket League, and I've been thinking about. I think I don't know if it was clocked it. One of the nights last week, I was talking to somebody and was like, I've never been exceptional at a particular game. It was you. Like I've never been above the average. Well, I've been probably slightly above the average gamer that played a game a ton, but I've never like clicked with a game since the NES days when I was a kid, and then I got super good at Tecmo Bowl. Like no one could even touch me playing playing co-op or versus, and against the CPU I could score 4 touchdowns in a quarter twice. You couldn't do it back to back. You had to do it first quarter, get 14 or 21 in the second quarter, then get 28 points again in the third quarter, then get 14 to 21 points in the fourth quarter. I score like 80 something points, and like I could take the slowest team kick returner and I could run back kickoffs and stuff. So I was like a prodigy with that game. And since then, I think Contra, same kind of era, was same time. Me and my cousin, we could play through it 4 times straight we might die once.
No Konami code.
And we could just go through it and just blast through it. But since then, like I was trying to think of like what games have I been like really good at? Not just I'm stubborn, I'm going to beat Champions Road even if it takes me 100 deaths, I'm going to beat Champions Road in 3D World. Like I wouldn't say I'm good at the game, but I got through the hardest level. So I don't know if you guys have any games from the past, from the present that you feel like, I'm really good at this game. Like, and it, you might have felt that about like Mario Kart Wii. I remember thinking, yeah, I'm pretty good at this game. And I go online and get my ass handed to me, so it's hard to say for these games that didn't have online, but what you feel, if you felt you were like better than, obviously your friends who you played against. So I'm going to start with Clocked It because we had this conversation. So is there any games or multiple games where you felt like, I'm really good at this game?
Goddamn. Yeah, I got a few that I can, I feel like, I was the shit at, and like you said, in some of them, when the internet came, you realize not that you were trash, but there were some other exceptional people out there as well who would actually do things that you never even thought of, and you're just like, God damn it, I thought I was amazing at this game. But one game I still stand by, and I still need to get it. I've always talked about it, is Street Fighter Alpha 3. That game is special to me. If you want to talk about hours put into games, my God, I couldn't even tell you. It goes beyond thousands. It's played it for years, and Alpha millions and billions, and Alpha 3 it's my most played fighting game. I used to play it in a video game shop with a group of guys who are close friends to me, and we played it all day, every day. Random customers would come into the shop. We would challenge them on a kiosk. I'd be beating down random, pensioners and children and women, when anyone would come in, and leave women lamenting in front of their husbands as I beat them into a pulp and stuff. Alpha 3 we all became exceptionally good on, which is why I was so excited that it came online. And I wanted to get it to see, if I actually was really good at it. Another quick fighting game I became really good on was the original Soul Calibur. Me and my friends, we played that to death.
Soul Blade or Soul Calibur?
No, Soul Calibur on Dreamcast. And I became proficient at most characters on that. My favorite character was Cervantes, and no matter who I played, I just absolutely destroyed him. So I felt like I was good on Soul Calibur. Going back a little bit more, Sega Rally on the Sega Dreamcast. But it wasn't just a Dreamcast, Sega Saturn. Yeah, it wasn't just a Saturn that I played it on. I played it in the arcades, and between the arcades and the Sega Saturn version when you first played that game, man, it was hard as shit. You were banging to the walls. You had to get the power sliding right around the corners and stuff. But I mastered that game and I became so good at it. I absolutely love Sega Rally. And two games quickly. F-Zero X, not GX. Even though GX had done all the massive stuff, I became so good on F-Zero X. I could, fly off, get air off some of the curves and stuff and come back onto the track, and I just became so good at F-Zero X.
GX, you were rubbish, right?
No. On GX, I was good, man. I was good on GX, and I'd done all the story mode on Master. I love GX, but the one I was most skilled on was definitely X. And the most classic game I feel like I'm good at, and I'd like to play some people online because I've got Puyo Puyo Tetris, is Tetris itself. And I feel like I'm pretty good on Tetris. I played it since the Game Boy. My favorite version is the new Tetris on the N64. And I've had all the Tetris dreams that people have had, where you play Tetris so much, you went to bed and you actually dreamed about blocks falling down on your head. You couldn't quite. Have you ever had anyone else had a Tetris dream yet?
No.
Someone else must have had the Tetris dream. There's an actual. If you go on the internet, there's an actual definition for it. I can't remember what it's called. There's a site. Yeah, there's like a scientific name for it now. It's like Tetris syndrome or some shit. But yeah, Tetris, I'm pretty damn good at. But yeah, I feel like those games, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Soul Calibur, Sega Rally, F-Zero, and Tetris are definitely my go-to games. I'll be more than happy to challenge people on and feel like I do a good job. And then maybe Mario Kart later on, but Mario Kart is each version is very different. So. But yeah, I feel like that's it for me. Those games
right.
there.
So let's go to a young buck, Robert. And I know you've had some moments. We played some Smash and stuff, but I don't know, if you have like games that maybe weren't online that you just feel like you were really good at.
Well, I mean, talking in terms of the online first, I did put down that I think, like amongst us, I always thought that I'm probably one of the better Smash players amongst us, because I still love those days when it would be me, you, and Terrell, and we would I would be Rob, and I'd take you guys.
You spamming Rob, yeah.
Maybe it's like 20 in a row.
And it was so hilarious. It would crack me up all the time. That's
not saying much because that was my first real Smash Brothers game, and
GG.
It wasn't Terrell though.
Yeah, fucking hate you. I think I could get robbed sometimes.
I can beat you a couple times.
It'd be those like those sometimes, but like I still think consistently, I think I've won more.
Yeah, I mean, because you actually knew how to play the game,
So
like borderline competitively.
Are there any other games you ever felt you were good at though?
I thought in the beginning I was really damn good at ARMS, and I think there was a lot of times where we would play, and that was also where I'd start to win. Remember, like a ton in a row, and then all of a sudden my streak just stops automatically. And also, this was in the I still truly believe that I was really damn good at Splatoon 1, where I remember all the time in the beginning where people be like, "How the fuck did you get a score that high? How'd you get that? What the hell is that?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, man."
You played it like you weren't playing Call of Duty.
And well, the whole thing with that is that it was I love that, and I remember again, people love to share the scores and shit. I remember I would always share my score, and I had like I think 2,100 sort of, and people were like, "What the fuck? How is that possible?" I'm like, "I don't know, man." And so that was a lot of fun. I would always consistently be like on the top of the leaderboard, but it also has to do with the gun that I use. But like I think the best game that I'm at, period, though, has to be Super Mario Galaxy. I am fucking king at that. I could probably 100% that game without dying. Not gonna lie.
Competitive game. Get that shit out of here.
No, but it's like I feel like it's literally like it's just
Like
memory for me. I could do that game with my eyes closed, honestly, because I've easily beaten. I would say both Mario Galaxy. Definitely the first one I've beaten over 20 times easily, and like I that one I know I could just 100% that whole thing. I remember there was this one level with the purple coin, the 100 purple coin of in Toy Time Galaxy with the Luigi's purple coins.
Oh, I hate that.
That was so fucking annoying when I first played it. When it would murder me, and I remember I died hundreds of times. And I'm like, dude, this is like impossible. And now I could do it literally my first try, and it's insane. And like it's insane. Like I could literally probably pass that whole thing without losing one life, and I love that game. That's literally my game. I love that game so much. That and Super Mario Galaxy 2, same with that one. Super Mario Galaxy 2 though, obviously at the end though, the Grandmaster Galaxy is still absolutely insane. But I still think I'm like pretty damn amazing at Super Mario Galaxy, and I could probably again 100% that without maybe a handful of deaths, but that's really it.
And I can barely remember the boss fight. And in Galaxy 1, you're in like this big cylinder, weren't you, towards the end, like having to
For Bowser,
to get to him.
oh my god, it was so epic. Yeah, that
But
was
I
like
don't remember the actual fight.
remember you had to it's like 4 different planets, and then he would turn into like a rock, and then you'd have to hit him with the rock, and then you had to hit him with the plant, and then you would do this like this huge thing with and it'd be technically like a repeat of like the other boss battles, but instead it was more epic. It was, oh my god.
I wouldn't know. I've never beat a 3D Mario game in my life. I'm a fraud.
But
I'm just
yeah.
joking about it.
I was gonna say what?
Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's
All right.
it for me.
Let's go to Retro Death. I'm curious to hear what games you think you're good at.
It's like
Can I take a quick guess?
It's just such
Metroid
a hard
Prime
topic
2?
because like yeah, that's funny. Because most single player games I wouldn't mention them really, and Clock that he started naming some fighting games. And I don't know if some of you know it if you watch some of my older videos, like the Super Nintendo. Me and my oldest brother, we grew up on that shit, and we played almost every single fighting game on there, and we mastered all of them. So I could easily name those, but I've always only played that with my family, that kind of stuff. So I don't really want to name fighting games. Just like F-Zero GX, like I had that on my list, but I decided to remove it because it's like,
Well, I mean, if you
It's-
like
it's-
if you got to the point where like you knew every move you could consistently pull off, like
yeah,
who
but
had the
that's the
heart?
thing. Like,
I mean, you're good at the
I
game.
wouldn't count- Like, okay, so it's very easy. The games I have on my list, the 3 that I counted, because I have all this shit here on here, like all these fighting games, games like Tales of Symphonia, Button Titles, which requires like quick calculus kind of shit. I'm really good at the game, but where I feel like I excel is the first one I would start is not really a game. Like, let's say you have Mario Party, and you get a mini game, where you have to keep pressing A as fast as you can. Like, I'm unbeatable at that shit. So no matter what game uses that mechanic, if you have to press like one button really fast, like I could never be beaten. So that's something I have. The 3 games I
You're
wrote
untouchable on
down.
track and field.
Like the 3 games I wrote down, I'll start with the one I would count myself least good at, but I feel I'm always improving, and this is the whole reason I feel you started this topic, I think, is I would count Rocket League. With Rocket League, I feel that everybody like who starts playing the game, like you destroy them like super badly. And some games like Street Fighter, somebody who never played it still stands a chance. And in Rocket League, like there's no way, because that's such a skill mastering setup. And once you get to the point where you're like 102 hours in the game, you learn all these moves that nobody can do. And at that point, basically the only people that are better than you are almost like those super pros. Like with Rocket League, you either dominate almost, or you get like destroyed. If you have like an even match, it's harder. So I personally account Rocket League because I think I'm getting pretty good at that. Like the 2 other games I have, one is it's a bit weird. Like it's one of my favorite franchises. That is the Professor Layton series. But the thing with Professor Layton is it's like 6, 7, 8 games. I don't even know how many. I have like 5, I think. But once you've played 2 Professor Layton games, you can rock that shit, because the sad thing is you start to learn the game, and Professor Layton, it has specific riddles that keep coming back, and at one point, like let's say you have to move blocks in a specific order, and you get like this muscle memory. And the thing that Professor Layton does is a lot of riddles aren't really riddles, they're meant to trick you. Like these ass fuck riddles where like, oh, out of these three characters, who do you want to choose? But you know what the game wants you to think. So I'm getting pretty good at that because you just once you've played those games, like you start to understand the riddles. And so if you would time like a multiplayer kind of thing, you know, you would time a riddle, like I would be almost unbeatable because I can dream those games.
Ass fuck
The main
riddles.
game. Yeah. Yeah, because it's like those riddles that aren't really riddles because there's always like this back door, you know, this sneaky thing. Oh, sorry, it wasn't actually a riddle. It's an obvious answer, you know, shit like that. Like oh, which person is smoking a pipe, but then nobody's smoking a pipe, you know, that kind of shit. But then this person looks like a pipe, you know, so it's that person. It's really dumb shit like that, and you start to learn that. But the main game, I feel I'm actually really good at, borderline unbeatable, is Final Fantasy Curtain Call, the Theatrhythm game, the one on 3DS. It's like I've played that game so much, and it has several difficulties, you know, easy, normal, and ultimate, I think. And it has an online mode as well. And I just love that game. It's the only rhythm game I'm actually not even like where I'm borderline can play it because I suck at rhythm games like Better Brother and that Harmon Knight shit and like Space Channel 5. I suck at those games. I can't even hit 2 fucking notes in a row with that shit. But with Curtain Call, like I'm a god when I play that game. I'm like in the zone because of the Final Fantasy music that you grew up with, so you know the notes. I can read the game before it happens. Like I'm legit. I consider myself really fucking good at that
I
game.
would have threw, honestly, playing against you in both games, I'd put Bomberman way ahead of your Rocket League. Like,
Yeah,
you were
Bomberman's
ridiculously
interesting.
good at that game.
Made me
Interesting. I
sad.
never even considered Boom. I never even thought of that. I
Like-
think we definitely put that over Rocket League when it comes to
Yeah,
that
you
kind
were
of-
definitely unbeatable.
Bomberman's a shit.
So,
I was
let's...
still looking forward to playing Bomberman with all of you guys, and then after a couple of matches, you guys were so scared never touch the shit again.
Yeah,
I was like, God
this
damn
game
it.
sucks. I can't
I
do
played
anything.
since you played too because I listened to that.
So let's go to Terrell. Hopefully he's got some games before the Wii U era, unlike Robert. So, or no, his Wii era. You had Mario Galaxy. So Terrell,
Sonic in the Secret Rings.
No, but no.
Sonic Boom.
No. It is there is Sonic on here, but it's not those games.
Sonic.
Actually, most of the Wii games I wasn't great at. Or no, I wouldn't say I wasn't great, but I wouldn't say I was unbeatable. It's hard because realistically, if I look at it, like I wouldn't say I excel at any particular game, but if I had to say, I guess my best ones would probably be. There's a few Sonic titles, so I'll just mention 3 real quick, and we'll just generalize it as Sonic. Generations, I got better than that than I actually expected to. Even Lost World, I would put on there. And probably Sonic 2. Sonic 2 for me was that game where I grinded like a madman just to kind of figure it out, which is kind of what I did with Generations and Lost World. Generations is a lot more obvious because of the whole stay on the top path and get through the game. I was trying to beat my times for a while in that game. So I'll just classify those all under Sonic. This actually was getting hard because I'm not insanely good at any game. I think I do okay in most games, but like I would say for a while, Arms was probably one of my better games, just because I could usually beat anybody as long as I had the kind of time to get used to a play style. Like usually within like 5 matches, I would probably win at least 2 to 3 of them. If we're going back older games, and this is gonna be fucking dumb, only my 90s kids will understand this one. There was a game that came out on the GameCube and the PS2 from based off a popular television show known as SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Battle for Bikini Bottoms up in this bitch.
The game's not even hard, but it got to the point I had replayed it so many times I could literally just breeze through that game. Like pretty much how Robert described Mario Galaxy is how I describe that game. I could borderline do that game with my eyes closed. I actually still remember the level.
It's
the level.
insane how much I hear about that game.
It's such a good game.
I keep hearing that. Like I remember, I think it was Gilligan Stash. He was the one that used to, you gotta play it. And he reminded me of like Robert as far as the Rabbids game. He keeps trying to. Was it Rabbids Go Home? Is that your game?
Oh,
Robert?
fuck yeah, Rabbids Go Home.
so his Rabbids Go Home was SpongeBob, Bikini Bob. So that's really funny.
It's a really good game, and I got really good at it to the point where I think I've beaten that game at least like I want to say at least somewhere around 20 to 30 times at this point. I haven't played it in a while, to be fair. I stopped playing it, I think, after the Wii because obviously the Wii U didn't have a GameCube in it anymore, so I couldn't do it as much. That game is God tier for me personally. And so I got really good at that one. And I guess one more will probably be because I was racking my brain. I couldn't think. I was trying to think of something more old school than modern.
Okay, you can say Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
I don't want to say Xenoblade Chronicles 2
gotta be
because like
pretty good at
China is killing me right now. And I've seen people do one-shot bosses in that game like nothing else. And I can do it. I know the loadouts for it. And I'm pretty good at it. I just wouldn't call myself like amazing at it.
I would say the person who figured out how to do it would be the exceptional player, somebody who saw somebody else do it and tried to replicate it. That's kind of how I've always been. Like I've never been
Gamers today, man. Always just look at it on YouTube.
I've never been like so good at games, but
Well, for me, it was more so just watching people in their loadouts, and I had my own way of beating the same bosses. So I would say Xenoblade 2 could count as one of those games, but I wouldn't dare say I'm like amazing at it.
It would count for me because I'd watch the shit and still wouldn't be able to pull it off.
So I just use my own. RPG is always my other. I guess the other game, the last game would probably be The World Ends With You. That is.
World Ends With You.
And that one is weird because that one's it's very touch based, but on the DS, that shit just clicks, man. It's because although it has RPG elements, it's more of a focus of hand movements and coordination with your partner on the top screen while you're on the bottom screen. And that shit, I once I hit a zone, like I hit a moment, especially with boss fights, man, I blew that shit out of the water. Those are my games.
all right. Let's go to T next.
All right. So this is like games that you mastered. Basically.
I mean, I don't think I've mastered any game, so for me, my list doesn't go off that. But for you, like I know you get through Super Mario Brothers pretty good. Well, I've only beat the game once, like without warping once in my life.
You only beat it once?
Without warping.
Oh, it spells. No. Yeah, most people warp. But yeah, obviously Mario 1 through 3. I would say I mastered it because back in the day you had 5 to 10 games. That's all you had. So you played the shit out of them, and that's what I did. So I was really good at all the Mario games. I would think the game that I probably played and beat the most, I'm definitely a master. It's just like muscle memory is the original Contra. Like no Konami code necessary. I will go through that game right now. And I played it. Last time I played it was probably like 6 months ago. And I think I went up to that first boss in the ice world, the one where they're throwing napalm out of the trees and shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time I died. I didn't die up until that point, so I know I can still kill that game.
I haven't played that game in 25, 30 years probably.
I probably beat that game, no lie, 400 or 500 times. Like I used to play that game every damn day.
If they put it on the virtual console, I would have played.
Oh my god, right? I'm so pissed off. They always put Super Contra on, which I can't stand. But yeah, so that fighting game, like for me, it was Marvel Capcom. Yeah, Marvel Capcom 1. I was pretty beastly at that. And this is before internet. This is when you had to go to the arcade and look down your opponent, which was part of the game, by the way. That's part of fighting back then. So it was Marvel Capcom 1, and then Street Fighter Alpha 2 was mine. Like, I was disgusting in Alpha 2. And I think to this day, nobody can touch me in Virtual Fighter 2. Akira, come see me. Come see me right now. I mastered Akira.
Come see you on that game.
Okay,
yeah,
come see me.
Why is it that game online right now?
I wish.
Goddamn Sega.
And 3TB, maybe not as much in 3TB on Dreamcast, but still really beastly with Akira. I think I'm untouchable.
I would have brought up Shun. I would have been there. He's a drunken master.
And beyond that, like the only other, I guess, pre-modern game is Ocarina of Time. Like I know that game. I never had a problem with that game. I know people talk about it's kind of janky, you don't know what to do. I never had that problem. I probably beat that game over 100 times, and I can run through it right now and not even think about it. So Ocarina of Time is like that game. And then like as far as like consistent play, I think Splatoon is probably Splatoon 2 or Splatoon 1. I'm probably still good at that too. But it's the most probably the modern game that I'm most consistent at. I wouldn't say I'm like untouchable, but I'm really good at the mechanics in it. I think obviously I stick with mostly 2 weapons, but I'm really good with those weapons, so that's kind of the point of this. Oh, and Ninja Gaiden 2. I can still run through Ninja Gaiden 2, and that final boss battle is hair-pullingly just hard. I'm pretty good at that still. So I think that's pretty much like it for me. Like, mastered as far as games that I'm mastered, it's mostly Virtua Fighter and those NES games, those action NES games like Contra.
Yeah, the NES. You just had like we didn't have that many games really.
Right.
Between my friends and stuff, we would kind of have a collection, but individually, none of us had a ton. So you just
what we would do is we trade games with friends in the neighborhood. That's kind of what we did, or we rented them. We rented games a lot more back then.
So I mean, I was stuck with like I'd get trying to think from NES. I got Tecmo Bowl, so I played that for years. A couple years at least. Throw in Contra, and then I got Ninja Gaiden 3. God, I never beat that game. Impossible. But, so I didn't have a ton of games. So honestly, if I had to say the one game where I just no question, I know I'm really good and I could probably compete with anybody other than just like the most elite would be Tecmo Bowl, the original. Like there's only 8 teams or 12 teams. There's 4 plays per team.
I'm gonna put up a let's play that. Me and my buddy came down for my birthday. We got on that and I recorded it. That's not my game, but
yeah, I was a boss with the 49ers. I could not be touched, even if you called the same play. There's one play where you could still get the ball off. So that's really for me. That was the only game I feel like I was top. I'm really good at, but Contra, another one. I haven't played that game in 20 plus years.
What is the deal with Contra and not being on any virtual console? Is there some kind of license for that? Something's up, right?
But I'd love to play through it to see how I do. But then Super NES. I was amongst my friends. We'd do time trials on Super Mario Kart, and like I would pretty much. And I didn't own the game. My buddy had it, but I still had the top times on most of the tracks, so I was pretty good. But I know there was people way better. You watch the world record guys, and they're doing all this almost fire hopping, these weird hops, and it's ridiculous what some of the elite players do. But I felt pretty good. And then N64, GoldenEye, I was one of the better players around in the multiplayer when I was at my pinnacle. But I still don't feel like I was a true master of the game. Honestly, the next maybe Project Gotham Racing 2 on the Xbox, I knew every track, every corner. I mean, I could out-corner most people, but honestly, I hate to say it, but I think Call of Duty Black Ops 2 was the out of the NES era. I mean, between Tecmo Bowl and now, I think Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is the best I've been at a game that whole span. So I had my kill to death ratio was 1.43 in that game. I had 400 or 500 hours plus. I can't remember the exact time. And I was just I was mad if I wasn't MVP at the end of the match. I got really good at that game. And that was only 2011 or 2012 when the Wii U came out. But I got it on the Xbox and really got good. So other than that, I guess Mario Kart 8, I feel pretty confident, with the online. there's so many random the weapon, you know, the way the items fly can hit you, and then the lag. We have a player from like Japan or something, and you hit them with 3 shells, and they stay ahead of you. So you never. I can't say, you know, there's. It's hard to say like, oh, I'm a beast at this game. I don't do fire hopping and stuff, but I feel like I'm really confident. Like I can get first online. I get all the 3 stars. I beat all the time trials. I know I'm really good. I know all the tracks. You know, I know all the corners. So that's probably the other game. And I'm not gonna be like Retro. I think I'm pretty bad at Rocket League still. I still just struggle with hitting the ball on the wall, and the ball will be sitting there, and just everybody's circling around it. Like I want to get to the point where I could just like some lesser players, I could just take the ball and play keep away with. You know, that's what I want to be.
The thing why I mentioned Rocket League is because it is something that non-stop still, and I would say the same for you. It's like it's a straight arrow upwards. You know, it's every game you play, you're basically getting better and better, and that's the kind of why I put it on my list, because you it's a game where if you care about it, you don't stop improving.
Yeah, I feel like I plateaued 3 different times now, where I've just for like a period of time, however, a couple days, a week, or whatever, where I just feel like I'm not getting better, but then all of a sudden you just get over the hump, and you're like, oh wow, I can see all the effort like paying off now. You know, like I'm hitting these shots now. So I know like I got a long ways to go to where I want to be, but that was definitely the spark for this conversation. And I wish Contra. I wish I could play that again.
I feel ashamed as an
All right, go
N64
ahead.
game console. Shame on me. I left out Fighter's Destiny. I don't think anybody can touch me right now. Still, Fighter's
I've
Destiny.
never played it, so I'd hope so. I'd hope you could be.
And Star Fox 64. I would bet that there's nobody in here who has a higher medal score than me in that game right now.
Sounds like a challenge, Clock.
Any takers?
I feel like getting my cartridge. No, my N64 is right next to me. Let me get
upload videos I want to see.
It's quite funny though. When you start thinking back, you start realizing that there's been a ton of games that you actually have played loads and got really good at. You know, another game I forgot about was the original House of the Dead in the arcades, and I used to go in there, and I put coins into each gun, so I'd have a gun in each hand, and I'll be able to complete that game on just those single credits without getting hit once, and I could pull the trigger so fast with my single fingers and reload and stuff. And at one point, I had my name from number 1 to number 10, just my initials from number 1 to number 10. Because I played it so much. And then one week when I came back in, they must have reset the arcade machine because all I was fuming. I was like, "Fuck, that was my claim to glory, man. My House of the Dead claim to glory." But I feel like for all of us, we might be struggling to think of some games right now, but like you said, you start going back and you realize how much you have played some games, and you did become good at them. Not maybe you didn't master.
When you get older, it's like it's harder because you don't focus as much on video games, and
yeah, exactly.
I think, the more semen that leaves you, the less good you're at Twitch games.
Yeah, I think as you get older too, your reflexes.
Your reflexes start to sour a little bit.
Yeah,
A good proof of that is I had F-Zero GX on my list. I was like a beast at that shit. I was like unbeatable, and I tried to play that again like a year ago. I think I couldn't even beat fucking like expert anymore, so let alone master. Like I suck at. I was like, how? I was like, I ruled at this game. How am I so bad at this all of a sudden?
that shit happens. So maybe another way to look at it too is there been games where you're like, I'm like spend hours in practice mode. Like I think Smash 4 was the first game that I other than maybe like Dead or Alive, there's a few Dead or Alive games that had practice mode. Soul Calibur, I think, had where you do the move set. But Smash 4 was the first game in a long time where I actually practiced hours against the level 9, 8, computer and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I'm gonna beat Ike level 9, and it took me, I think one night like 2.5 hours of nonstop matches with. I tried with Bayonetta for the longest time, couldn't beat Ike, and then I had to switch. I forget We Fit somebody, and I mean it was just a 2+ hour of losing to Ike in like 3-stock match before I finally beat the level 9. Like that was the first game where I actually practiced, and I think if that sparks anything for anybody, a game where you actually practice as much as you played the game, which is I think what someone said recently about Rocket League, that's what separates the pros from just the really good like grand champ players, is they spend as much time, if not more, practicing the game than they do actually playing matches, because that's the only way you're gonna be a professional, be better than the rest of the world at something. So I know Clock that you said something about Alpha 3 where you'd actually practice quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like you said, I think when I was playing with my friends, we didn't. We had this thing going on. We got this tournament thing going on. We called it the FGR tournaments, and we'd have it like once every few months, and we'd challenge each other. But generally, when we were playing, we wouldn't generally play against each other. We'd be practicing against each other. And then the people who we'd actually play against would be the rando people who would turn up, customers at the shop and stuff. But Alpha 3, I mean, the training mode in that was just a standard training mode and stuff. But I mean, my God, it's like I said, you can. I don't want to talk about a same game all the time. It's hard to describe how many hours I just practiced on that game. But one game I played a lot and practiced a lot in was Wave Race 64, and that was like in the time trials and stuff like that, where I was so focused on getting a good a time as I can. And then back then it was really just against myself, and I'd go over the same level over and over and over and over again. I knew if I hit one wave incorrectly, if I turned that corner just too sharply or something, I messed up just at once, I would restart it and start again. So Wave Race 64, I played to death, absolutely to death, especially in the time trials and stuff. Absolutely to death.
The original?
Yeah, the original Wave Race 64, and I just loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I can't think off the top of my head any other game right now I would have spent a lot of time in practice mode in. Most of the time you would just play the game and complete it, play it again, complete it and play it again. I think with racing games, most of the time you get super familiar with the tracks, right? Ridge Racer Type 4 on the PS1, my God, it's one of my favorite racing games ever. Beat Adventure Racing, I learned those tracks, those shortcuts, those boosts, inside and out on Beat Adventure Racing. Yeah, play that loads just because that was a very dynamic map. There's so many shortcuts to take, and you really wanted to learn them all. So I found a lot of games like that are the ones that I would replay over and over again. Definitely fighting games, racing games. It's just to familiarize yourself with the layouts, and we still do that today with Mario Kart and stuff. Like you said, Juice. I think most of us here could probably just sit down on Mario Kart 8, and we all know the tracks like the back of our hands. Now because we played the game so much on the Wii U. Yeah, go on.
Like you just said, you're a big Wave Race guy. Is it Wave Race or is it Wave Race 64?
I call it Wave Race. I call it Wave Race 64.
Well, I'm asking you because I don't even remember. I own 2.
It's Wave Race 64.
Games. Is it 64? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know people refer to Superman 64 as that, but it's not called Superman 64 at all. Actually, it doesn't even have a title on the cartridge. It just has a symbol.
Really? What kind of shit is that?
It's like Superman Shadow of something, or it's not even.
It's Wave Race 64, definitely.
Okay,
Yeah.
I couldn't even remember. I was not even joking. I can't remember.
One game a lot of people call is like Star Fox 64. For us over in Europe, it's called Lilac Wars.
Lilac Wars, right? Yeah.
But I call it Star Fox 64. I always have. I've never
So what
really
about
called
the
it
Super
Lilac Wars.
Nintendo one? Is that also?
That's just Star Fox.
It's called Star Fox.
Actually,
That's
No,
not confusing.
Starwing.
Starwing.
that's what I was gonna say. I always called it Star Wing. I hated Lilith was. I refer to it as Star Wing because the original game was called Star Wing for us, and
weird.
that's why Star Fox took me so long to adapt the fucking title.
So what do they call Starlink?
What they call Star Fox Adventures.
By now they call it Star Fox Adventure, Star Fox
Yeah,
Zero.
yeah.
By now they overtook it.
Okay.
It was only the SNES and the N64 in Europe where the names are crazy. You know, I don't know. But I love Starwing. Starwing is a great name.
Yeah, I liked that title
Alright.
better as well.
I
Personally.
got one more mini topic, and we're gonna get out of here.
Okay.
I can't
We're
go on
talking
my
about
practice shit.
Oh, you got some games you practice?
Yeah, I had
I want to say
one game that I wanted.
I only
Okay.
have one I wanted to mention.
Because,
Go ahead.
the first one I wanted to mention, I'll say it quickly because I've talked about it already. But I do practice a lot in Rocket League because you have like users can submit their own training programs, and I actually do use that quite a lot to learn like aerial and that kind of shit. But the one game I wanted to talk about is the first one that came to mind. It's the only one in my past that I can remember that I practiced the shit out of. I'm gonna challenge Clocked It on this bullshit because he's like, yeah, you know, Soul Calibur 1, I play like Cervantes, but Cervantes, he's like the Ken of Soul Calibur, you know. You don't need to train with Cervantes. He's like the pussy, you know, everybody can play Cervantes. But I used to
You
play.
best watch your mouth, man. You best watch your mouth.
I used to play Soul Calibur 2 to death, and I would pick my character was a Talon that I played with always. And the thing that I loved so much about Soul Calibur, unlike Street Fighter, really, it's one of the first games that had an insane combo system that was like pre-programmed. You have because like a Street Fighter and Killer Instinct, I love those games. I'm good at them, but you can create your own combos, kinda really. But Soul Calibur had specific combo sets, and I spent like days, months, years, like pen and paper in front of me, writing combos down, and then just every day and night, day after day, performing the same combo till I mastered them, and I could master every single combo with her, and it made me like when I played with my friends or my brothers or my family, it made me unbeatable with her because I trained to learn these combos. And Soul Calibur is the kind of game, if you don't train to do the combos, you won't be able to do the combos. So that's definitely on my list.
All right.
So Calibur 2
Was
when
that,
the King
that
Calibur.
shitty Todd McFarlane character was just terrible? You know, sometimes he's like a plain, just garbage character.
yeah, I know it's
Well,
what you
yeah,
mean.
it wasn't. It was the generic. It wasn't Spawn, was it?
It was generic as hell.
yeah.
No.
But anyway, Robert, you said you had one you were gonna.
Yeah, definitely. Mine is Smash for Wii U because like I know like I would train a lot and also a tiny bit in the beginning for ARMS where I was like maybe I could do this shit professionally, you know. And so I was like, I remember I went on literally on Discord and I joined some Discord competitive ARMS thing and it was funny because like I was like, oh you know. If anyone wants to fight, and then a lot of people are like, "Oh shit, aren't you the dude from the tournament?" I'm like, "Yeah, man." I'm like, "Fight me, bitch!" And then it was cool. And but definitely for sure, Smash. I would train with my amiibos. I do the level 9s. I train, you know, for glory. I kept trying to get better, and it turns out my best was definitely Rob, as seen with you guys, where I'm most consistent with him for sure.
Those
Yeah.
damn up tilts.
Can't believe people actually used the amiibo to train. It's the first time I heard of it.
Well, yeah,
I did it when I first bought it.
I did,
tried.
yeah. Like that was during the more beginning. Then I started just playing for
That's
glory.
the whole point of amiibos. Why wouldn't you use them?
Yeah.
Terrell, did you say you had one? That...
I had one, and it's a very obvious one, but it reminded me when Clocked It was talking about Wave Race and everything. I did that a lot for Sonic Generations. I went back and I think that's probably the reason why I like Sonic music so much is because I hear it all the goddamn time. Although I'm very familiar with like the first 30 seconds of most tracks because I would fuck up a jump and it's like, oh, I guess I got to restart the track again. Actually, Lost World was another game, and part of the reason was because of the negative thing around it about it not. Oh, these aren't intuitive controls, and I'm like, I don't believe that shit. So I went back and got even better at the game, and it's a weird experience, but I enjoyed the hell of it. And that's probably why I am so good at those two games, is because I went back and practiced them over and over, primarily for time travel shit, because I'm crazy. Because Generations was stupid with everyone else's time, but that's a whole nother thing. But those two games, it was just a lot of making sure I stayed on the top halfway and maintaining my jumps and momentum, because if you fucked up your momentum, it was like that was an automatic restart. So those were, and then I did that for a little bit of ARMS and Smash with you too, but I think the Sonic games usually are my passion.
All right.
One game. Sorry, quickly. One game I forgot to say: Super Monkey Ball 2, Monkey Gliding. Contest me, man. Contest me. I was a shit on Monkey Gliding, man. I could fall from any height in the sky, bang on a target, boom. No matter where the target was, I was there, man.
How disappointed were you with the Wii version of Monkey Ball?
I didn't touch it.
It was a fucking train wreck. God, it was a
didn't
train
even
wreck.
touch it.
I tried it. It was I made my buddy buy it, and it was terrible. Did not work. The motion controls fucking barely worked for pool and stuff. It's stupid.
Crash of the Titans, terrible.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm actually going to hold the next topic for next week, because I think it could go on for a little bit.
I didn't get the answer to that. What was this?
All right, sorry, T.
What was it? Yeah, I don't even remember. I was talking to my wife, so I didn't hear the.
I'll just if you've ever actually practiced a game, like not just played through it, but actually practiced, either whether it had a practice mode or you just specifically went in to do practice mechanics to get better at the game.
Oh yeah, that would be Virtua Fighter 2 for sure. And then the character I was trying to remember is Necri from Soul Calibur 2, thanks to Weister. Yeah, he was garbage. Just a really crap design. You think something better would be coming from Todd and Pro.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the most terrible character design ever.
When they said that he designed that character, I was like, but he sucks. And Tom Fine does awesome shit. No way
Yeah,
that he actually
that was so
designed
disappointing. Like
he threw that together in like
he threw that shit together like nothing.
And then they turned it into a 3D model. But I actually was better with Keelik than I think anybody else. And then the female counterpart, which you had to unlock, I forget what you had to do. It was pretty challenging. You had to beat the game on certain difficulty or under a certain time, and you unlock the female version of Keelik's moveset. And I just like that rolling from one button to the next, kind of to do the moves. And like I actually got pretty good at the first Soul Calibur, and then the GameCube version. I thought that controller would be perfect, and it actually I did not like Soul Calibur 2 as much. I don't know, it just didn't feel right to me on the GameCube controller for whatever reason. But I got pretty good, but I didn't stick with it. Like I play Soul Calibur right now, I wouldn't have a clue what to do, so I couldn't say I'm really good at it.
Not even with Link spammy ass.
See, I barely even remember Link. So yeah, that's gonna be it. We'll depending on what comes up next week, I'll save the question I was gonna ask you guys, because I think it could go pretty in depth with it. So let's just do final thoughts and get on out of here. So let's go with Robert first. Let's get it out of the way.
Oh, geez.
So, and I will just also say there's one game that I forgot, but also Mortal Kombat X. I would train in a lot with Melina to try to get good, which I got semi good, but then it's only a few moves that I would remember. But I really love that game, man. I wish Mortal Kombat would come to a Nintendo console, man. I would love to play some of that shit with you guys if you would play.
Yeah,
it.
I mean that would be fun. I mean,
yeah, it'd be good. But it's been real. It's been fantastic. It's been and I'll say that enjoy everything in the world.
The dude's got nothing to say in final
Here
thoughts.
we go.
And then he can put together a pretty solid
Diarrhea comes out of his mouth.
little song, little rap song.
Can we not do this? No, don't do these.
You can't put any words together in a final thought.
You should have just played the song, Robert. That's what you should.
Maybe you can't. Can you not freestyle? Is it you have to write it down?
Everything's written.
How dare you just gonna bust this man out? How dare you?
But yeah, enjoy the world and what it offers. So,
All right.
have a good night.
You
And
need a
next week,
catchphrase.
I'll be back with some Octopath Traveler impressions.
He's fucking lying.
No,
He's
you're not.
lying.
Have you got past? Have you met Pyro yet in Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
Oh my god! I didn't even
What
Uh,
the fuck is a pirate?
In year 2024, I'll give you some pirate impressions.
Oh my god! Take this man's Switch.
Oh my god.
All right, let's go to Retro Death next.
Okay, I'll keep it simple. One of the last games I played, it's a must buy. I think it's an exclusive on the Switch. I'm not sure. Man, I love this game so much. It's Bomb Chicken. It came out last week, I think, a couple of days
That's a
ago.
bomb ass chicken.
This shit, it's so addictive. It's like this puzzle platformer, and you walk. Just the animation of it is insane. And you basically just chicken, and you walk left and right, and you can't jump, so you lay a bomb, and you can lay as many bombs as you want, as much as the height allows it. So you stack like 8 bombs to get on the platform, And when I saw this in the trailer first, I was like, man, this game looks so fun, but it is so hard. Like very fast, you learn that it's not really just about bombing some enemies. It becomes like a puzzle game, and man, anybody needs to go buy this game and play it. It is absolutely amazing.
I remember
And
you were-
I'll just keep it at that.
That game's like they did like I forget what it was, part of an indie thing. And that game, you from day one, you're like, oh, I love the animation from Bomb Chicken. I'm like, I didn't even think twice about that game. And then I went back and watched the clip again. I was like, it actually looks pretty cool. So that could be
It's
something
so much
in the
fun.
future.
Did it have to come out in
It has
the
like
first time?
Yeah, it's like, what is it with this last month? Ever since E3, it's just been, it's like the holiday season for Nintendo and Switch. It's like every game's coming out.
Season, so we'll get you.
Like I haven't even thought about Donkey Kong DLC for Mario Plus Rabbids. Like it's just too much. It's too much.
I haven't even got Octopath yet. It's just a show.
So
Octopath.
let's go to let's go to Terrell next.
GG. Good podcast. I appreciate the time we've taken out here to talk about some video games, even on a slow news week. I'm gonna try my hand at some Robertism, so excuse me, but we're gonna go for it anyway. We don't have that much time on Earth because we will all eventually die soon. So, but the little time we do have, it's amazing. We can spend that time in other people's company that enjoy the same things that we do. So always appreciate your loved ones and your friends and family. Next week is more games, I guess. I guess that's what's happening. So good night, God bless, and Godspeed.
All
Peace
right. T, go ahead.
That shit was ultra depressing. Especially if you just had a birthday recently, you old motherfuckers. Yeah, great podcast, guys. Bob Kane is a fraud. He didn't create Batman, who he gets all the credit. Yeah, I spent over $300, I think, in the last couple of weeks on video games, so it's time to chill out and play them a little more. I don't want to end up like Robert. It's fucked up. Just kidding. Yeah, good podcast, guys, and yeah, buy some new games that are new to you, not just Wii U ports. Okay, let's do that and expand your horizons. What did it say on what did the Wu-Tang Clan say on Dave Chappelle show? I'm showing my age. Oh no, it was diversify your bond. Yeah, so do that. Peace.
All right. Clocked it.
My God, what is all this inspirational, spiritual shit, man? What's going on? Juice
old,
has
man.
gone crazy. Getting old, man. But yeah. Sorry. Even though I retro, even though I mentioned Cervantes, is my boy, my real main, which was Shanhua with the Chinese sword and stuff. I fucking loved it. But yeah, anyway, this is what we this is why we need Soul Calibur 6 on the Switch, man, because we're all clearly old school Soul Calibur fans.
Yeah.
And it'd be great to actually play each other on a modern game, you know. So there's no reason why Soul Calibur 6 should not come to the Nintendo Switch. It needs to happen, and I
It's
play
coming.
that shit.
They be funny people. If you really want to play it on Switch,
Can I just? We didn't even point out, like, real quick, the little, like, the clips of each character doing like their training, like doing their moves with their showing what they could do with their weapons while you're like, I don't know if it was character select screen or the
Soul Calibur.
yeah, and it would
That
just
was amazing.
the animations. And you mentioned that what was her name with the she had like the dual? Did she have a dual sword or
Shanhua. She had the
She have
single
like a-
Chinese sword.
was that like is that kind of like a fencing sword kind of like the moves?
Yeah, it's a single blade, it's a single
Yeah.
long blade Chinese sword.
Like watching those animations, like I don't know how they hold up today if I saw it,
still
but
Dude, I did a video on this. If you actually watch my channel, you would have seen me talking about this shit, man.
I watched all your videos, so I don't remember that one.
Would you do what I used to do and just sit there and let the demo play just to watch that shit?
Yeah, watch
Oh,
Cubit's like move sets.
So good.
Yeah,
So
man.
good.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, just quickly on that again. I mean, when I first came out, that's one of those games that graphically just blew your mind. That was my video. The games that graphically blew your mind.
Oh, okay, yep.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I've nearly finished Hollow Knight. I'll probably get a review out on Wednesday or Thursday. Non-spoiler review. I'll just be talking about what it does right, what it does wrong, or whatever. And then I'm moving fully onto Octopath Traveler, which I'm really looking forward to dedicating all my time to.
Hollow Knight, there's nothing wrong, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I haven't encountered anything.
You'll see that. But yeah, I'm not gonna finish off with some inspirational spiritual stuff like these boys. I'm just gonna tell you what's best in life, and that's to crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear a lamentation of the women.
When I grow up, I'm gonna be just like Clock. He's an inspiration to all men.
Clocked it, you son of a bitch.
Big bro. Sorry.
All right.
But anyway,
So,
I love the silence at the end. Then it was just like, "Yo, you crazy?"
no one knew what to say. I just want to apologize to my subscribers. This is a Nintendo channel. It's always, Nintendo podcast, always talking Nintendo, juice opinions, and it's kind of become a Rocket League channel, so I'm sorry. But I know not a lot of people watch the stuff, but I got my computer has a built-in capture card. I want to kind of document my progress on that dribble challenge thing. If anybody, one of the 10 people that saw those videos. It's actually really fun. Like I wish that mode was in the game for console owners because it looks like N64 graphics, but it is so addictive and fun, like beyond just playing the game. And I'm really sucked in. So I'm going to keep recording myself getting further and further. And, for the 20 people that watch them, appreciate that. But once there's some more stuff happening, there's not a lot. Can't do a juice opinions when there's really nothing Nintendo related to talk about, like other than some minor stuff that we covered here. So just bear with me. We need a Nintendo Direct or we need something. 2018 has just really been, for me, a down year from Nintendo from a first party standpoint. So E3 kind of reiterated that.
It sounds like a personal problem.
I don't honestly. I mean, easily the next Nintendo game I buy is gonna be Smash, and that might be the next physical Switch game I buy. Honestly, so there's just not a lot from Nintendo. It's kind of their fault that I kind of went all in with Rocket League just because I know there's a bunch of other games coming, third party and stuff, but it's like if there was a major Nintendo game out in May, probably would have been done with Rocket League for good, for good. So it's kind of their fault, but at this point, I'm all in. I watched the RLCS right before E3, and I completely forgot to mention that when I was talking about my E3, like how disappointing it was coming off the Rocket League Championships, finals where it went 7 all the way to Game 7, and they tied it up with 0 seconds on the clock to send it into overtime. It's like the most amazing thing. Like,
How good are those guys?
it was like I was watching the NFL. Like, no other sport gets me like the NFL. And watching professional Rocket League was like, it was like that NFL level of high. Like, it was just the playoffs. It was amazing. So that, you know, I'm all in, and I just have to bear with me on once there's some Nintendo news or some stuff looking for the future, you know, that I can talk about. I'll get back to that. But anyway, good podcast, and you know, I would love to play Soul Calibur right now. Like, if we could play, I know they re-released it. What was that? Was that last gen or this gen?
360, yeah. But,
yeah, the HD
it
version.
wasn't online, I don't think, was it? Can't remember.
I don't know if that's on Steam. I would like to actually go back and play those games. But anyway, thanks to everybody for tuning in, and thanks to Ruby for all those 100 comments in the live chat there. I see she pretty much dominated the last.
Dominated.
It's called dedication.
So yeah, so with that,
Appreciate you.
y'all have a good night, and remember, everybody poops.
Y'all come.